We're going live. We're live.
Yay.
Jane, Anna, we made it. This is our first Facebook Live of many, of thousands, of hundreds. How you feeling today? How
I'm
was
feeling good. I'm getting all caffeinated, got my afternoon coffee going.
All right, awesome. So, for those that don't know me, I'm Elias Flores. I'm Serena's business partner. We have some ventures together, but today we're going to talk about real estate because I believe there's something crazy going on, Serena, and I need someone like you with your mind and your knowledge to explain to newbies like me and others what's going on. But first of all, for those that don't know you, I'd like you to tell me more about yourself. You know, who are you? Who is Serena? And what's your story?
Who is Serena? So I'm a real estate investor. My husband and I, we've been real estate investors for 9 years. I became a real estate agent 3 years ago because I was having a very hard time finding me in the market. There were a lot of real estate agents, but not really anybody that spoke investment. So when I was telling them exactly how I wanted an asset to perform or what my cash on cash returns would look like, they were just throwing things at me. And I was like, this is just a waste of time. There's got to be a better way. So when we started early on, about 9 years ago, we have 4 kids. We were really scared. We kind of did Dave Ramsey. We did do Dave Ramsey. And we saved all our money. And our very first investment was cash. Found it on Craigslist. You can still find deals on Craigslist if you didn't know. And we just negotiated it down. It was the first time I ever pulled comps and learned about a property, and we were hooked. Like we found a 4 bedroom, 2 bath, and it needed everything. And we said, we're going to pay rent somewhere. We might as well pay it to ourselves. So we did enough to move in, and we slowly renovated it. And that was the very beginning. And we still have that property in our portfolio to this day. We've done 5 different strategies on that one property.
Wow.
So houses have the same thing as people. We evolve and you can do many different things. So, right after we bought the property, we started a trucking company and we did that for about 5.5 years and we sold that off. And that was a vehicle to build capital to invest. But
Wow.
we learned so much from that business, and that's what we take into now into real estate. So we have different partnerships, different business ventures, which is exactly how I met you. Listening to different podcasts and talking to people that know a lot more about real estate than I do. And
Wow.
that is a lot about what I do and how I bring things to the table for others.
I
I
love it.
bring all the resources around me and I bring them to the people that need it. Or I even connect people. So if one person has the deals, one person's a closer, one person has the contractors, that's a great team. Like,
Yeah,
let's bring you all together.
exactly. You have to have a strategic partners, and if you can be the bridge for them, what's gonna be better than that? Someone like
Exactly.
you. And it's beautiful that when you express your story, because there's so many women out there that maybe they don't know what they're going to do tomorrow with their situation. They single moms, maybe they lost their loved one and everything, and there's other options more than just staying on the same place and just waiting to die. There's more out there to conquer and everything.
I
So
talk to women that think the only way to get into real estate is to be a real estate agent.
yeah,
Not true.
there's more, like they're subject to cash deals, wholesaling, even to be an advisor, even to be the bridge between the ones that are going to make the transaction. It's
Yeah.
everything.
Or anything with marketing.
What you believe? Yeah. What you believe was the most difficult part of becoming a real estate investor?
um, Getting to the point where I was able to leverage other people's time and other people's skills. As investors, as entrepreneurs, we think we can do everything. No, we know we can do everything. I can learn this, I can do that, I can manage it all. When I was able to find a bookkeeper to keep my books, especially when we were getting multiple properties to flip, and when I was able to find a transaction coordinator to help me with paperwork as a real estate agent, once I got to that level, you need to find people that you can trust, that have the same philosophies as you do. Personally, my philosophy is lead with service. When I talk to people about being an agent, a career agent, or a lifestyle agent, I'm a lifestyle agent. This is me. This is all of me. I absolutely enjoy what I do. Um, there's no such thing as burnout for me because I sincerely am passionate about it. And I think people really get that when you start talking to them. Those are the people I want to work with too. Those are the people I surround myself with. Whether you're a loan officer, an insurance agent, contractor, like these are people all the time. We're in a very important business. Houses, your home is very important. Your investments are important. They're what are feeding your dreams and your goals for your family. So when I do this, it's because like I'm all in and I want to be around people that are all in.
Let me ask you this. When you started in the real estate industry, it was completely different, but there were real estate investments already. But what's different from before and now? Like, what's the difference right now? What are the opportunities, and where do you find the opportunities to find these, gold nuggets
Yeah.
properties?
So there are some differences between then and now, um, namely what you can buy an investment property for. But um, the market is always changing. Now, I can run comps at the beginning of flipping a house. I can run comps at the middle. And what I'm talking about with comps, they're comparative analysis of houses around. They're same beds, bath, square footage, year built, things like that. So I'm looking at all these houses around. They're just selling. And as we're flipping a house, we buy it, we renovate it, and we sell it. Each time I pull them, they're different. And I don't mean completely different, they're just slightly different. But those slight differences can make a big difference in our scope of work and, our plans on type of appliances, even. Like, I don't want to think about that. I just want to pull comps and tell you this is what the market is saying. So when people ask me, Serena, what kind of investment should I invest in? Well, how much time do you have to invest in it? What kind of cash on cash return do you want to get? What's more important to you, cash flow or appreciation? There's a lot of different things that go into it. And what I do is I very much specialize into what you're looking for. You want to narrow down what you're looking for. And then I want to show you what this actually looks like in this market. Because a lot of people, when they take a class, they'll give you the numbers. And you'll run the numbers and you're like, oh my God, this is perfect. But it might not look like grandma's house. Like you were just thinking of something that was going to just need paint, not very much rehab. Um, and then maybe the school district's not as great. So maybe it won't, days on market will be like, 85 versus 15. So these are things that I help you look at and narrow down when you're looking at investment properties. You mentioned the wholesaling or the subject twos. These are a little bit more creative when it comes to investments. And there's a very specific person that you're looking for when you're looking for a seller. They're a little bit more motivated. They don't really care about how much they're going to get, or they have a time frame. They have to get rid of this. So those could be more appropriate for that. Other times, if they need the money, they don't care how long it takes. Maybe there's something else that's more appropriate. Maybe lease options or something like that can be more suitable. So when we're looking for deals, we're looking for people and we're looking for situations. And those do stay consistent, but we will be seeing different fluctuations in the market of what we're going to see coming.
I love how you say that you need to understand what you're looking for and what you want, because you need to grab pen and paper and create an avatar. Who are you in the market? What you trying to get from the market, and then go for it. So something that I always say my clients and my partners is, don't go bulk if you don't have a wide amount of money to invest. You want to be very specific, because that way you will have more opportunities. And that's a great tip for new investors, because when you start investing, I know everybody goes crazy and they want to just try to purchase everything. And not everything is an opportunity for everybody.
That's
Some
exactly right.
people have more time to make money. They don't look at short terms. They're looking for long terms, and some others just trying to get instant cash, like wholesaling, getting quick cash,
Yeah.
and moving and moving.
Or maybe house
So
hacking, like moving into something like we did. I mean, sometimes
exactly,
that's like your best first one.
exactly. I know that you do coaching. You have a group that you coach every month. How does it work, and where those coachings are at? How if I was there, how can I get in the group and be part of the community?
Right. So once a month, well, we have different groups that I help organize. You can attend any one of them. All of them are free and they're all available. We have one in the Northland. We also have Invest Her, which is a women's only real estate investment group, and that's every second Thursday. And we have Cash Flow, which is every Thursday evening at 6:30. So when you go to these events, it's kind of like an introduction to real estate. So you're going to meet a lot of people that are in this exact same space, many different industries, all shapes and sizes. And you're like just looking around saying, okay, this is possible. So once you're really interested and I see you're getting some of the concepts um, and you're really wanting to dive in, that's when I try to get one on one with you. Let's just grab a coffee. Let's talk. Let's talk to the next level. I just talked with someone very, very new, and then she had contractors. So she was like, would you mentor me? Sometimes I'm not always the best fit, sometimes I am. If I am, let's go. And I'm based on results. You win, I win. That's how I think it should always be. However, if not, I will connect you with other people so you can build your team and have the best advantage in this market as you can. So if there are people that are at the same level, collaboration. I think you should start out with that sometimes.
So you're willing to help people that come to you. For instance, I got this property and I don't know how to comp, and I'm not sure about my numbers. And the most important right now in the market is knowing your numbers.
Right.
If you go to a meeting with a seller that is knowledgeable, that knows a lot about the market, and you don't have clarity in your numbers, you just
Yep.
lost the deal.
Yep.
So you open
So
to do
that is
that for
something I do.
others.
Yep. Had two women that came to one of the meetings that we went to, and they're very new. I said, okay, what are you doing right now? I said, well, we're doing mailers. I said, okay. I said, I always like to triple. Whatever you're doing, triple action. Mailers. That's one. What's the next one? Well, we're making some calls. Great. You're making calls. What's the third one? Well, we bought some bandit signs. Great. Well, they were very nervous about that because they didn't want anybody to talk to them while they were putting the bandit signs out. That's fine. So we went with them, or I went with them, and I helped him. Like we did the visualization, put it above your head and like stake it down. Like I want you to own this piece of land because this is your business. And we did that. Like I went out with her and we went to go do this. And they got so good at it. Their first lead was dialing one number at a time every time they saw a sign. So they put it on one straight road and they put so many signs that she could dial the number one number at a time. So they got the very first lead. I went with them. We went and evaluated the property. I put together the scope of work with them. We negotiated it down. They originally wanted 55,000. We negotiated down to 35,000 and brought it all the way to the end.
I love it. I love it because it happens to everybody that you need someone to grab your hand, hold you tight, and walk you through. And
Right.
sometimes some mentorships out there don't give you that because
That's right.
maybe they virtual, you cannot relate to them, you cannot even go and tell, I just messed up. I just lost the deal. You don't know. And sometimes you get the contracts and you don't know what to do with it. So you believe that the most important in real estate is people or numbers?
Ooh, that's a good one. Hmm. I am a relationship person, so I always say it's people because um, things have gone wrong and the numbers ended up not working. But at the end of the day, it's always going to be the people that are either going to help you through those bad numbers or they're going to help you find a solution. So maybe the numbers don't look good for this strategy, but maybe another strategy, they may work out just perfect. So sometimes people can be the best solutions.
Gotcha. And yeah, it makes sense because you can have the best numbers, but if people don't like you, you did nothing in the
That's right.
transaction. And
Yep.
it's just another deal. No referrals, nor anything.
Mm-mm.
So, Serena, what's your day a day like in your business, in Serena's life? What's your
Oh
day a
boy.
day? Let us in.
Man, people always ask me when I sleep. So mostly in the mornings and in the evenings, I do a lot of paperwork. That's my time when I do a lot of comps, analysis. I do a little bit of that during the day in between appointments, but a lot of times I'm either looking at houses, analyzing deals, showing properties, talking to my investors, verifying information is where it's supposed to be as far as title companies, um, inspectors, making sure other agents know what's going on with deals, talking to sellers, talking to buyers, making sure they understand the processes that we're going through when it, taking a property from beginning to end. Um, that's pretty much it. A lot of it is the communication between everybody in the deals and then making sure everybody's on the same page and knowing what's the next step. So,
Let me ask you this. You know, you have an advantage when you go to sellers, you know everything already. You have this seller, you can offer them to lease, cash out, and sometimes even to refinance or maybe look for someone else that is going to be a better fit. But what can you tell these sellers nowadays that they scare? You know, market is different. It's not the same. Some people is a little bit afraid that they're
yeah.
gonna lose money because we had this crazy market that people were selling for above market price, sometimes 50,000, 100,000. How this is gonna affect the business?
It already is. Definitely. People are holding back, waiting for the floor to drop out. And, before we had the crazy market that we had, things didn't move as fast, and, we hit the crest and now we're coming down a little bit. It hasn't fallen. So if you're ready, this is the right time. Let's go ahead and figure out what that looks like for you right now. It may take a little longer. We may have to get a little creative. Instead of buying or paying for somebody's closing cost, sometimes they can take that money and they can do a buy down with many lenders right now. So you can buy down where their first year of payments is 5%, second year 6%, and then 7% if that's what they qualify for. So you can get really creative even on the seller side. And you don't have to just settle for, this is all I have to do. These are all my options. And that's what's really good with working with more of an experienced agent that has been through it. I haven't been through this as an agent, but I was as an investor. And I also worked with a title company. So I saw a lot of the things that we're going through on the last one. This is a brand new cake recipe, guys. These aren't the same indicators as before. So we're going to have to try to do things differently.
Master your craft and make sure that you believe in yourself even before you do anything,
Yep.
because you will you will get rejected, you will get offended on the phones, you will get any type of negativity on the phones, but you need to have the mindset, go getter, aptitude, and know that what you're doing is legit. Understand your numbers and go for it every day, right?
That's
It's
it.
like any other business, like
And know
selling
that people
shoes.
are going to test you. You know, like I had a buyer's agent. It's not going to praise for that. Well, let's show me your numbers. Show me your numbers. I'll show you my numbers, right? We talked through it. And she's like, nope, I still don't think it's going to praise. I said, how about you put an offer in? I said, if you're so confident, appraisal's it. Okay, if that's what it appraised for, that's what you'll buy it for. If you're confident, put an offer in.
What you believe is the main objection these sellers are gonna be putting in our faces in a daily basis now?
Right now, a lot of it has to do with just the. Normally, it just changes right now anyway, just because of the weather. People kind of get buckled in. Um, a lot of them just kind of put their head in the sand. They don't want to face reality of what's coming or what's going on. And that's where we're here. I talk to people that talk to others that are kind of in distress situations. Those are stray cats. Like if I'm going through a bad situation, I don't want to talk to you either. But I I tell a lot of these people, I'm like, act as if you are their personal assistant. Act as if this is your best friend's aunt. They're like, why my best friend's aunt? I'm like, because it's an extended relative of somebody you really care about. You're still going to talk really nicely. You may not know them all that well, but that's okay. It doesn't matter because I'm still going to take excellent care of you no matter what.
You believe that I have this question because you very local. You in Kansas and you do everything local so far. But you believe that you have more options, driving for dollars, going to the properties, attending appointments in person than actually doing everything over the phone.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Because you can see everything and you can see my face when I'm talking to you. And I can come back and I can keep helping you. And that's different, I think.
I know you and Joseph do a lot of driving for a dollar. What's the craziest thing that has happened to you in those neighborhoods?
Uh, a lot of different things. Yeah, I go to a lot of houses. Medical marijuana has been very popular. So a lot of people, they just like, they'll have full basements full of stuff, and different rooms for different things. Um, had somebody in the city that had like a whole bunch of like little geese in the garage, and yeah, there's just a whole bunch of things that you wouldn't imagine people have for hobbies or collections, um, but they do. And they're very unique.
Oh my god, I can imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
A
I was
lot
like,
of
I don't want to get
images.
too far into that. Just know, just some crazy stuff.
But you guys are direct to buyer too, because I know that Joseph knows a lot about, rehab costs and everything. So let me ask you, if you could help someone out there, maybe a new wholesaler, you are willing to buy the deal from them and help them get a buyer that fits
Yep,
their needs.
yep.
If
We
you
have done
like
it.
it, you keep it.
Yep,
That's
we've
it.
done it. Yep. And that's a big
Perfect.
difference between just being a wholesaler and being a wholesaler and an investor. Many of the best wholesalers that I know are also contractors. I mean, knowing
Love
your
it.
numbers, knowing the rehab, that's why, like, when that woman was like, I know contractors, I've been training with contractors, I'm like, oh, you got a great skill set. That's great. So,
So, so if you know the ARB really well, you
mhm.
know that rehab costs, there's no
Yeah.
way you will fail.
I'm not going to say that because there's things that you see and things that you don't see. So a lot of times when I work with investors, um, I'll look at a property and I'm like, okay, so there's $60,000 worth of rehab that I can see. My gut says I think there's another $60,000. And sometimes it's hard for me to I'm not an inspector. You know, I'm not
Yes.
a foundation expert, but I know there's things that I I can tell, but I don't know how to tell you that's what that is. And so with that particular person, we brought an inspector in because at the end of the day, it's worth every penny for you to know for sure and you not to take the headache on. So that particular time we did, we brought an inspector and he said, it will cost as much to tear it down and build a new house as it is to rehab this one. And everything that I was thinking, the basement, the plumbing, the sewer, everything, it was all bad.
What happened if someone get a contract, an agreement already signed, and they overprice the property, and then they have to go back to the seller and negotiate it? Like, what would be the
Yep.
best approach for someone that does or is going through a situation similar?
To be honest, just be honest, and do it sooner rather than later. If you find out 2 days after you have a contract, just go back and say, listen, we ran the numbers again. This is what it looks like. If you want, I can run through the numbers with you. You know, I was really aiming for this. I know this is what you need. This is what I wanted to give you, but it just doesn't look possible. You know, like people always ask me, what are you going to do with the house? Like, people always want to know. Well, I looked around. This looks like a residential neighborhood. If the numbers are right, we'll flip the house and we'll put another residence in there because that's what the neighborhood calls for. However, if the numbers don't make sense, we have to do something else. That's what we'll do too because we're running a business. Oh, I think I lost your sound.
I'm sorry.
Oh, there
So
you are.
treat yourself like a business, and I believe that that's the major issue we have when we become entrepreneurs and then we go out to try to find business. We don't treat ourselves like business. You
Right.
have to have core values, you have to have a process, a structure, and just stick to it or die. Stick to
That's
it or
exactly
die.
it. That's why some investors, we talk about things, they're like, oh, but I really love this location. And I'm like, yeah, but what do the numbers say? You
So
know,
you that also buy and hold. I mean, Joseph and you buy and hold. What's the minimum in cap ratio annually that you're willing to receive? Like, what's the
um,
minimum?
that's different just because um, I'd like to say about 7 or 8%. And that's usually on some more creative deals. So maybe that's just what it'll be in the first few years, and then later on it'll be better. But sometimes it's good to help people on the front end too, and maybe not get as much. But I mean, I still think they're really great.
Yeah, yeah. And what are your favorite properties out there?
Uh, Favorite properties. I love Tudors. I love the look of Tudors. They're pretty popular here. And there are many different areas around the country, and I like properties that are converted. A lot of them are more commercial, but you can see that with the residential space too. Somebody that takes one thing and then makes it into another. I love the creativity of that.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot. If you have to start again in the business from zero, zero money, zero connections. I know that you have a lot of connections, so I have to say that because you leverage your connections too. If you have to start from zero again, what type of niche, what type of properties you go for? Like you start them from zero and you have 60 days to make it happen.
Um, I would probably start with um, probably the ones most people overlook or don't want to mess with, the ones that take more time and energy. So when you're starting with nothing, you have more time and energy to put in some of those properties. So more the inner city, urban core, um, some of those areas, um, you can probably wrap those up a lot faster, depending on. the types of situations. Sometimes they have more title work that needs to be solved. But I think that you can find those resources faster too. And they have good returns. So if you have to get something done and you have to do it quickly, like you were saying, that would be a good place. And I know of people that are doing that. And plus, you have the time, which is really what you need with those. They need more attention, they need more love.
I wish I live in Kansas. I'll be going to all your meetings. I'll be there knocking on your door. We're ready to go.
We're getting each other hugs every time.
I would definitely do that.
Yeah.
I'm big in data. Something that I always do is researching, knowing what's going on in the market. And I know that for fix and flippers right now got really tough for fix and flippers
Right.
because before the property was just 1 month in the market, 15 days, 5 days in the market, and now it's unexpected.
Right.
Something that I do before I even start a campaign or work with a client, I go to the market and see what this is gonna look like. Even before I go and promise we're gonna kill it. No, I go to the market and I look at the properties that are pending that are for sale, and I'm like, this is what the market is saying. Properties are in the market for the next, after you contract them, put it on the market, fix and repair everything, it's gonna be 60 days in the market. So you need to know what you're getting into.
That's
You know
exactly
what?
what I look at too. Yep. Yep. And you have to look at it now and predict it for later. And that's really challenging, especially with flipping houses. I talked to a great investor, and when you purchase a property, you have potential income. And then you rehab it, you have to protect that potential. And it's not until you sell it that you actually realize that potential.
Love
And I
it.
think
Love
that's
it.
very important when it comes with flipping houses.
So you buying only ugly houses or you buy anything?
Buy anything.
You buy anything.
Buy anything.
Multifamilies.
I can help you find a buyer for pretty much any investments right now. There are so many different strategies out there that are people looking for. Creative financing is definitely coming back. I know a lot of investors, wholesalers that are actually leaning towards that now with rising interest rates, with all the problems that we had with COVID, with many challenges people are having with their credit. This is definitely a big time. And we have that aging population that are getting out of the houses. So you have people that are having credit issues, you have aging populations getting out. Could be a good thing. So if people don't have to have a straight sale of their property, you can still get money, monthly income. They're coming in and be able to help somebody. And maybe in a couple of years, if they work on their credit, they can just cash right out of there.
Something that I love about you is how you explain things and you lay out all the opportunities, all the options, and this is gonna be really good if someone wants to take advantage of you being your partner and collaboration. Where can people find you? I know we're on Facebook and people
Yeah.
is gonna watch this video and it's gonna text you. But if someone in Kansas that is there and wants to go to the meetings, you what's the address to those meetings, to those coachings?
Yeah. So two of the main events that are going on at my office, that's the Keller Williams building, um, that is in Prairie Village. I'm sorry. It's about 83rd and Mission. You can absolutely look that up, Keller Williams Key Partners, and that's in Prairie Village. And then the other one is at the ACA Business Club up on Vivian Road. And again, that is every second Saturday. That's a Northland Real Estate Investment Group. And of course, we have the larger group. It's called MARI, the Mid American Real Estate Investment Group. And that's over at the Holiday Inn in Overland Park. And that's a huge one I always go to. Absolutely amazing speakers there. But there are so many amazing groups that I attend, I support. But you can always reach out to me on Facebook. You can reach out to me on Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm pretty much anywhere that you are. And that's how you can find me.
Love it, because we're about to wrap it up. But for me, it's really important that people knows where to find you. Whether if you're a seller and you're not sure about selling,
Yep.
you can just come to Serena. very casual, ask her for an MLS, comps.
Yep.
Why is so important to run the numbers through the MLS?
Those are all on market properties that have sold. So they are basically the cream of the crop for the most part. People have renovated their houses to put them on the market for a retail buyer. So when we're looking at MLS value, we're looking at after repair value. And that's what we're really trying to narrow down with that. So based on the condition of totally rehabbed or somebody just putting on there and it's more like outdated, but still in good condition, like everything's functional. We can be able to look at that and pull examples of that on the market and say, okay, this is how many days it took to sell and this is what it sold for. So based on that, this is what I predict coming up.
How me as a seller know or identify what's going to be the best offer? I have a lot of cash buyers calling me. I want to give you an offer. I want to give you an offer. How do I know I'm not going to lose money? How do I know what's the best for me?
Yeah, yeah, that's a really big question. Um, when it comes to evaluating cash offers and things like that, you're looking at how much earnest money are they putting up front? How serious is the offer? Is it a local title company? That may not always matter, but it could. What are you comfortable with? What are the terms? How long are they going to let you stay there? Are they going to give you time to move out? Um, there's just a lot of things that come into that, what that person particularly needs to when it comes to those situations. What needs work? If you can get a scope of work, have an inspection done beforehand. I know that's sometimes hard, but if you're looking something for cash and fast, it's best that you know the condition of your property and you know what it's going to take. So if you know the numbers and you know the rehab, you don't just have to leave it to somebody else to tell you, this is what it's going to take to fix it up. This is what it's going to take for this.
Yeah, and be realistic, right? Because if you know the house needs a little bit of love, you know
Right.
that in the market, it's not going to sell for top dollar.
Well, and think about it like as an insurance company. Like, how old is too old for your roof? I mean, they're going to expect you to replace it after so long. If it's 20 years old, many insurance companies won't even insure it. When was the last time you remodeled your kitchen? Was it 10 years ago? Well, it's outdated. So it just depends, and it depends on the area too. But yes, be realistic for
All
sure.
right. I love it. I love it. This meeting is gonna help out a lot of people, and I can't wait to see how many people is gonna be impacted. By you guys now making a space in your calendar to help out others.
Yep.
So whoever is out there and believe that has a dead lead and don't know how to go back to the seller, negotiate, or maybe you don't feel secure about your numbers, just come to us, come to Serena. She's willing to give you a friendly hand and it's gonna teach you because this is key. People will help you close deals, but you're not gonna learn anything. And the beauty of this is that you guys are willing to explain, to share, to collaborate, and to guide,
Yep.
and to build more leaders out there.
Yep. Yep. And that's why I help other agents. I have other investors, everybody in this space. I absolutely, any next step that you want to take, let's help you get there because it's only going to make the market better and it's going to make you better.
All right. So you said that you went from seven, you as a buyer, like from 7 to 8%
Right.
cap
Yep.
ratio. That's
Yep.
the minimum.
Yep. And
If
I
I'm a
think you
new,
can do that in this market even. Yep.
so for I've heard some people that they want or they trying to push the 10%, 15%, on the cap ratio.
Yeah. And
You
you can, in the coming market, I think you probably could find some of those. Um, but I think you're going to need a bigger network for that. I think you're going to need your own crew. I just talked to another investor. She has a handyman. We're just talking about doing flips with her handyman. And I said, when you do partnerships, what I talk about a lot when people want to do partnerships, What value are you bringing? Because they're like, oh, I want a JV with you. Okay. Are you bringing the financing? Are you bringing the deal? Are you bringing the contractors? Are you doing the work? Are you managing the contractors if you're not doing the work? Are you bringing the buyer? Like, what part of this are you bringing to the table? Because you have to bring value when you want to do a deal with somebody.
How you pick, because you mentioned contractors, how you choose the people you work with. I've heard some crazy things about,
Yep.
you know, they didn't.
Well,
I've heard some things that I'm like, how do you do? I know you have it easy with Joseph. You have it easy
yeah.
with Joseph. Oh,
He doesn't agree with you.
but
So a lot of it's by referrals, and that's why network I think is really important. If somebody's done somebody else and done a really good job, that's great. They'll probably do a really good job for you, especially say, hey, Jane, she recommended you. She said you're going to treat me right. Accountability. And then also setting the right expectations ahead of time. This is how long I have. This is a quality that I need to get this done. Seeing what quality that they've already done. Doing some due diligence is going to go a long way with finding and keeping good contractors. And like I said, setting the expectations and knowing when they need payment and how they want to get paid and what you're comfortable with paying them. It's going to be
love
all a
it.
great conversation.
I love it. Don't have fears of talking about money.
No.
Just go talk about money, have that uncomfortable conversation,
Yep.
and have clarity. And boom, the
Get
air
about the
is clear.
business.
Straight to business.
Yep.
So, guys, this is gonna end right now because I want you to stay tuned. We're gonna be coming every 2 weeks or maybe every week. We're gonna have new topics. Remember, if you need help comping, don't get stuck. Come to Serena. Joseph and her are willing to go to appointments with you, help you make money, and
Yep.
in the process, you can get ahead of the game right now.
Yep.
That's something that I always suggest. You want to be a millionaire? Go to people that is making the millions. You want to be a real estate investor? Go to the people that is every day, in the streets.
Yep. People that are living it.
Exactly. Who is surviving and who is established in real estate? Serena, Joseph, knowledgeable. It's really easy.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So stay tuned, everybody. Have a beautiful night. And Serena, see you tomorrow because we see each other every day.
I was gonna say we're gonna talk. Bye guys.
God bless you.